Mhm. Got it.
Hello and welcome to Bamboo Batu, Bamboo Dialogues. Today we're talking with Fina from Belgium, who has a bamboo clothing company, making bamboo clothing for many years. And we met just in person about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Or was it a month? It's been a month already, a month ago at the European Bamboo Expo in Dortmund, Germany. And
Right.
I was in the bamboo clothing business for a long time. Anybody who's familiar with the story behind Bamboo Batu, I had a bamboo boutique in California for about 15 years. And the best selling products in the store were generally the bamboo clothing, bamboo textiles, bamboo t-shirts, bamboo underwear, bamboo socks, bamboo sheets, bamboo towels. Those were the hot items in the store. Also sold lots of other bamboo things like bamboo furniture and bamboo kitchenwares, but the super soft clothing was always super popular. And we always got lots of questions like, how do they do this? How do they make this hard bamboo into something so soft? And I tried to explain it to people for many years, but I'd never actually been to visit a bamboo textile mill or factory. And when I met you the other day, last month in Germany, I learned quite a bit more about the process. And I wish I'd met you a long time ago, so I could have been explaining this better to people all these years. Um, and it's a fascinating process, and we'll get into it. Yeah, really looking forward to this conversation. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit more detail about your business and how you got into it?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me in the first place. So yes, I'm Fina from Bamboo Belgium. I started this company 10 years ago by looking for something that felt sustainable for me. So I did a lot of research. What is sustainable from the beginning? Because there you need a lot of steps, of course, for making a garment piece ready. And all these steps are human actions. So for me, it was like, okay, it has to be something that grows from its own. And that was the bamboo. Then after you checked, of course, the whole process, there you see that we work with a viscose process, although that we work with a company that recycles all the wastewater and neutralize it with milk ferments. There are still chemicals that are involved. Therefore, we started 2 or 3 years ago at the university a test that we make bamboo pulp with enzymes. So if we can succeed in that, of course, that's the huge benefit. Then the whole process is as green as possible. So that's in a short story what I'm doing right now. So we make also the weaving, the dyeing. The dyeing is as natural as possible, and then we have a small company that makes the garment for us, and from there on it's all in Portugal. So everything what goes to the clients in the south of Europe goes directly, and everything what goes to the north comes through Belgium. We also send everything by packed in recycled paper, not in poly bags. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting. So you're based in Belgium, but the factory is in Portugal. Uh,
Yeah, that's on the reason is there because we don't have any spinning, dyeing, weaving, stitching in Belgium. We don't have the knowledge anymore. So
okay,
to have everything concentrated in a small area to be as sustainable as possible, I made the choice to do it in Portugal because there I found everything in an area of 100 kilometers. And there also we now have already the fields. There are already a lot of fields of bamboo in Portugal. So of course, if we can do that with the pulp factory, then we have a complete chain in an area of 1,500 kilometers, and that's very unique.
that is super unique. That's
Yeah,
super interesting.
yeah.
Um, So let me back up a little bit and look at the process of making the fabric. It really dazzles people when they feel a bamboo garment. It's just like so silky soft. And there has been some controversy about bamboo. How green is it? Is it really sustainable? Because bamboo we know grows like crazy, so it's a very sustainable plant. But then with the fabric, there's the chemical process you referred to.
Yeah,
Um, and something I found really interesting in Germany when we met was your little display, which we talked about, where you had little jars with examples, samples of bamboo in the different states as it's processed. So if I remember correctly, there was a little jar of like wood chips. The bamboo is like chipped first into little bits,
yeah,
and then it's ground into like a sawdust.
yeah,
And then from the sawdust, there's the pulping process where
yeah,
it becomes pulp,
yeah.
and then from the pulp
Yeah,
it's
it's a kind of heating to get the cellulose, but that's not polluting anymore. So the last from the pulp to the cellulose is
mhm,
not any pollution. That's a
okay.
kind of heating that you use there. It's just from the dust that you say until the pulp. There is this chemicals involved, this
Mhm.
sodium that they use to make it to a pulp.
And then from the pulp into the cellulose or the filament,
Yeah,
which looks like a big fuzzy cotton ball kind of,
yeah,
and then from there it's spun
yeah,
to thread and then woven and then cut
yeah.
and sewn into different
Yeah, and there you
garments.
have, when you say the spinning process, in the spinning process, this is a dry spoon, so there is no water involved anymore in the spinning.
Okay. So it's really the step between the kind of bamboo dust into the
Mm.
pulp that's questionable.
Mm.
And there's a lot of different ways to do that. There's sloppy ways, lots of chemicals that get spilled. There's closed loop systems
Mm.
where everything is used and reused, no pollution. And then the newest thing is using, instead of chemicals, using enzymes
Yeah,
to do that process. Can you explain a little bit about how that works? I don't know if it's super technical or if it's something you can.
it's a kind of rotting process that they use there. So the enzymes, yeah, they make that the bamboo gets rotten.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah, you can see it like that.
it
Um,
like it speeds up the decomposition
yeah,
of the bamboo in a way.
yeah, yeah, it speeds up. Yeah.
Okay, so the enzymes
You
are like
have,
natural microbes or something that
yeah,
are.
yeah. But you have to have, of course, a specific, unique combination of enzymes
Mhm,
that are, yeah, making this process very fast. But in that process, we are right now.
nice.
Yeah,
And I would say from my experience, most bamboo clothing companies are not using the enzyme process. They're still using some type of
mm.
chemical process. Is that right?
I think that 95% of the bamboo that's on the market is not aware of that they are still how you say it, losing the wastewater. So because in China and also in other areas where they make now the pulp, they are not that strict in recycling. So there is a lot of bamboo on the market that's not okay because of the wastewater. And that's, of course, that's the price, huh? That's the price we have to pay, because if you want to recycle, if you want to do the effort to neutralize the water, to use it again, to try to get a closed loop system, that costs money. And yeah,
Right, like anything else, the cost is coming out of somewhere. It's either the cost is
yeah,
placed onto the environment, or we have to pay the cost out of our pockets for a better system. At least that's how it works right now.
yeah,
And because all the pulping processing for bamboo takes place in China, there's
most
not
of it.
always a lot of not always a lot of transparency in how it's done. But you were explaining that you were working with a factory that was certified by a German company, which we agreed was probably more reliable than having it certified there
somewhere in
by a
China.
Chinese company. Yeah. And so
in Holland, they did an investigation around that because they also had a TV show. And they looked into it because there is, of course, a lot of bamboo on the market. And apparently we were one of the only ones that they found out that are recycling the wastewater. All the rest just dumps it in the rivers. Yeah.
So like any other material, whether you're using bamboo or organic cotton or linen or something else, there's cleaner ways to do it, and there's dirtier ways to do it. And you really have to study the company and the processes if you really want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I think the best information is asking.
Mm-hmm.
So you will find out how much the person that sells you the product, how much he knows about the whole process. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, super interesting because it's really easy just to generalize and say, oh, bamboo is super sustainable. It's like, it's going to save the planet. Let's buy bamboo socks and everything. Or, some other, cotton, it's horrible. Never buy cotton again, or never buy anything made in China again. China gets everything wrong. And used to talk to people like that. Used to talk to people like that in my store a lot. It's like, oh, I'm not buying anything made in China, because a lot of people that came into the bamboo store, they were really progressive minded people. They wanted to shop consciously and buy the most, low impact, most environmentally positive products that they could. And so one of their commitments for a lot of people was, oh, never buy from China, because China is doing everything bad. And it's you can't just, it's not a black and white world. We like to just categorize things and okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm done. But like you said, you have to ask a lot of questions and really delve into it. And it's not simple. But
just don't generalize everything, because there is also cotton on the market that's okay. There are a lot of things on the market that is okay, and as long as we are on the way to Rome, I always say, Rome is not built in one day, so we are on the way. There are still steps to make, but please ask and check out if the company is aware of what they are doing. I think that's the most important.
It's a journey. It's a journey to sustainability. And the more you ask the companies, the more the more they realize that customers are knowledgeable, customers are interested in these things, and that, that should encourage them to take steps to do more and more. As you have. So the other really amazing thing about what you're doing, besides pioneering in this this different method using enzymes, the fact that you're starting to use Portuguese grown bamboo as opposed to Chinese bamboo, which probably 99.9% of bamboo clothing is Chinese Moso bamboo, grown in China, milled in China. Even if the garments might say they're made in Italy or made in the US or something, the fabric itself is Chinese bamboo milled in China, and then sometimes they export the fabric. But you're actually starting to use Portuguese grown bamboo and doing the entire process there. And I imagine that's been a challenge.
It's a huge challenge, of course. But when we want to go for sustainability, I believe it's not about one thing in the process. It's about the whole process. So you can say, okay, I'm sustainable, but I'm still buying in China, so it has to make even 10,000 kilometers for the transport. I don't think that is so sustainable. So I believe in making everything more local. And that's not that I'm against another continent. That's just because I think it's not normal that we find it, that we buy everything that's that travels the whole world around. There is something not okay. We have to try to make everything as local as possible. And if it's not possible, you buy it from somewhere else. But don't make such transports to have something cheaper, or I don't know why. But that for me doesn't feel so sustainable.
Right. As we learned during COVID, these long stretched out supply chains,
Yeah.
really pretty vulnerable. If something happens,
Yeah.
Suddenly they fall apart and it becomes impossible to get these products, or super expensive, or
Yeah.
something
Or
else.
even
So,
that I found out, like in COVID in Belgium, we had a whole transport of masks that are produced not okay. So they have to burn them. Yeah, and why? Because they didn't check out. They want to have it fast, 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 and then you find out that, of course, someone else on the other side says, "Okay, hop, give it." Allee, how can you check it when it's traveling around the world? You can never check it completely.
mhm.
And when it's local, you can go there and you can check it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I can make it to Portugal sometime soon and check it out myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look
Yeah. That would be
forward to that.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, super interesting. So another thing I learned when I was talking to you is that you make all the products you make. I think all of them are 100% bamboo. A lot of the products I had in my store, it was a blend. Like the
Yeah.
t-shirts would be 70% bamboo with 30% organic cotton,
Mm.
and some different blends. I think we had some sheets that were 100% bamboo. I think they were one of the only things that we had that were 100% bamboo. Most of the garments were a blend.
Mm. Mm.
So tell us about how that works and why you prefer to do it that way.
Yeah, because when you want to recycle it, the easiest way to recycle is when you have clear, proper fabric. How can I say it? That it is as most as possible one quality, and that's the reason why I choose indeed to have or 100% of bamboo, and for some items we choose to put 5% elastan in it. Because that's the comfort. But with 5% elastan, they can take out very easily the elastan. So, and if you have, of course, this blends, the question is, can you recycle it? Can you compost it? While when you have 100% of bamboo, you can even throw it on the compost, on the compost hope. So I don't know how you say it in English. Sorry.
Compost heap, yeah, or compost.
Okay, yeah. So that's the reason why I choose to have it as clean as possible. I don't see the benefit of using cotton in the bamboo. The only reason why it could be that they put it in is to make the price a little bit lower. Because cotton is not that expensive as the bamboo. The bamboo is, in fact, a very expensive material. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine, especially when you're doing it, as sustainably and responsibly as you are,
Yeah,
it
as local.
brings the price up a little bit.
Yeah.
So where can people find your products then? In Europe, or do you sell them in North America, other places, or?
No, no. So I get sometimes questions from America, and of course that's nice to hear.
Mm,
But on the other hand, when I produce in Europe, I want to sell in Europe, and I prefer then to make a company in America and making there the same process, because there are also fields of bamboo. So I believe that there is also a possibility to make it local.
nice. Yeah, it comes back to, yeah,
Yeah.
shipping things around the world.
Yeah, that's it.
Are
That's it.
there any big stores that carry your products, or do people have to order them directly through you, through your website, or?
That's at this point still, of course, a challenge. But we are now working on a platform that will come soon online, to have the whole story also known in Europe, because until now I sold to smaller shops and online stores, but they don't take the whole story with them. So the people in the street doesn't know the story about it. And now we have chosen to make a platform, to make an own web shop where we are very clear about how we see it and how we want to do it. So that will come soon online. But for the moment it's still in smaller shops. So but everybody can contact me, of course, through LinkedIn, no problem, or through the website, and I can give some shops that are in the area where they are coming from, so that's no problem. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And what's the name of your website?
Bamboo Belgium.
Bamboo Belgium.
Bamboo with double O and then Belgium. Yeah.
We'll put a link to it down below in the notes.
Yeah. Oh, super. Yeah.
And then if people are looking for a local store where they can buy it, they want to see it and touch it and try it on, if they contact you through the website, you can tell them where a local retail store is. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And keep an eye on the LinkedIn page, because the web shop will be launched very soon.
Okay, nice. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
One other question that comes to mind is, I talk to a lot of bamboo farmers and growers around the world, and trying to figure out how they can commercialize their bamboo and make products with it. And in a lot of cases, that it seems to me that they don't have enough bamboo to make it worthwhile to start a factory. But you're doing processing in Portugal, where you don't have thousands of hectares of bamboo like you do in China or in Indonesia or someplace. But you're finding that it's still feasible to do that.
I believe in it because I'm working together with Bamboo Logic, and they are making a huge effort to have a lot of fields, and we are working together to realize this. So I believe that we will succeed. Yeah.
Nice. So right now it's on a fairly small scale, but as more and more bamboos.
Yeah, I think we are now between 1,000 and 2,000 hectares. So it's not that much, but yeah, it will grow, because there is a lot of interest in farmers that are aware of that they cannot go on like we are doing now. So they change in other agriculture, and there is Bamboo Logic to help them. Nice. To change to the bamboo. Yeah.
And so it's great to see that if they do plant bamboo, they know that there'll be a market for it with companies like you.
Yeah.
That's another issue is with bamboo, is farmers are reluctant to plant it in a place like Europe, because they're not sure who will take it, because there aren't so many bamboo processing factories.
Yeah.
So it's great to see it's starting to happen. Factories a little bit, farming a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's kind of a seesaw going up and up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I just 1 month ago or 1.5 months ago, I planted my own field already here in the area in Belgium, to make farmers aware that they can change the agriculture that's good for the environment. So let's hope that they'll follow more.
Nice. Your bamboo in Belgium is just a small patch, or how much?
1 hectare.
1 hectare. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Right. Just a nice little forest of bamboo.
Voilà. Yeah, and that's also for local. It's not to transport to Portugal. I think there can be an exchange, of course, if there is bamboo wood workers in Belgium. So I sell it here, and I go and buy in Portugal the bamboo, of course. Because if I have to transport it from Belgium to Portugal, I'm again in a transition that's not necessary.
Yeah, especially if you're just transporting just the poles, it can be pretty costly to do that.
Yeah. So we have to be aware there that we have to do everything as local as possible.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you really put a lot of thought and energy into what you're doing and how you're doing it, to do it as sustainably as possible. And it's a really good point you made. It's not there's no perfect scenario. It's a
Oh,
journey,
yeah,
and
it's a journey.
constantly trying to improve and refine and do the best that we can with what we have.
Yeah, that's it. And if people are asking, if the end consumer is going to ask more and more, they will challenge, of course, the companies to go further. Because I think what you say, I believe that it is not one point. It's a journey where we have to go to and to check what can we do now, how can we do this, how can we do that. We need to question ourselves more. Yeah.
Yeah, and the companies, the manufacturers, they need that feedback loop. They need to hear from people,
Yeah.
and we need to tell them, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll just keep cranking out cheap.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, when we keep on buying it, they will keep on producing it. It's the market. So if the end consumer says, I don't want this garbage anymore, yeah, then it's finished.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for being out there and providing a great alternative. And I look forward to seeing you again, either in Belgium or perhaps in Portugal. I'd love to come out and see the farms and the factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, if people want to know more, please contact me through Bamboo Belgium or through LinkedIn. And I'm looking forward to hear more.
Nice. Fantastic. Yeah. I'll put a couple links down below in the notes.
Yeah.
And it's been great talking with you. Keep up the amazing work.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I'll see you at the next Bamboo
Days. And if you are in Belgium, you have to come and visit me.
Absolutely.
Always nice to see you.
All right. Thank you, Fina. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You too. Have a nice day. Bye.